Oh, hello guys, welcome back. Oh man, well, about yesterday, well, guess what, my internet provider just messed up. Yeah, they did, they done it, they done messed up, and yeah, the entire internet in my area for that provider was down for 3.5 hours. Oh god, that is crushing to me, especially when I only stream 4 hours a week. So it took a whole chunk off me at that exact time as well. So this is to make up for that fat. Yet even though they won't make it up for me, those bastards. Alright, well, we are back into it. So let's go on, shall we? Alright. I strike a pose while he's being busy, looking taken aback for a moment, probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Yeah, vous êtes belle.
Oh, hello, Dusty. What happened to Isabella? Oh my goodness. Well, it's all recorded on YouTube, if you want to watch it. But if you're asking me now and don't mind the spoilers, then yeah, I'll definitely tell you. Would you like me to spoil it for you, Dusty? Or would you like to watch it on YouTube? Because, oh boy. What does this mean? Vous êtes belle. I don't know what that means. Sounds fancy.
You want copies of these ones?
Ooh.
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents. Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
That it is.
No, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Oh yeah, Dusty. Oh yeah. Oh, that was a lot of blood. That was so much blood. Holy cow. Ooh.
Can you cook your best?
What?
I could cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
Damn,
Say
Zach.
magnifique.
Oh, Zach's really raking it up. Holy shit. Are they flirting?
Wow.
Wow. It has been too long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. Good friend? They just met. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. Right, the the pervert, I guess, policeman, I think? Ooh. And although we've just met, see, she even acknowledges it. Zachary is the sort who can properly befriend anyone. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. Oh, what does she mean by that? The photo shoot went by a breeze. Hello, cowboy. Welcome back. Yes, I'm trying to make up for what happened yesterday, or should I say 2 days ago by now, because yes, like I said, internet went down for 3.5 hours. So I'm trying to make it up. Wasn't there a pervert at the beginning of the game as well? Yes, that was Lee the policeman, the one that she was just talking about. Oh boy. And unless you're talking about Luke. And somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me this strange look until I back off, and he'll go back to asking questions after I agree to do his little interview. Are we flirting with Zach? I think we're flirting with Zach. And it's just odd. All good, Dusty. No probs. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Why, anyone else would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various peoples when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. All it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, and gentle swaying of the hips as I move. Oh my goodness, well, that's flirting then, isn't it? Especially if someone's just like, oh, you tease. Oh. Zachary grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? I mean, look, Hannah is a looker. I mean, look at her. It's just, man, poor Zach as well. Oh boy. Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? Well, I guess Luke is a flirt to all the other people as well, so maybe the swingers? I don't know. Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop? I'm not sure if I want to, though. Oh gosh, well, what should we do? Should we continue teasing, or should we just stop it? What do you guys think? This is one of the branching paths that we can take. Should we keep teasing, or flirting with Zachary, or should we stop it outright? If you want us to keep flirting with Zach, type in number 1. If you guys want us to stop flirting with him altogether, just type in number 2. So yeah, if you guys didn't know already, decisions do matter here. In fact, we could see that from the first chapter with poor Isabella. Poor Isabella. So yeah, if you guys want to type that in, I'll give you guys 10 seconds, and if there's nothing there, I'll go with my own gut. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, let's continue teasing. This is who I am, and I am not going to tone myself down for somebody else. Oh, Cowboy, you said 2? Oh, man. I just saw that message. I have no obligation to do so. At any rate, he's rather cute, and it is a bit fun seeing him squirm. What's the worst that can happen? You know what? Actually, I'm going to take a look at my stream myself, because usually there's a little bit of lag on it, but it shouldn't be that much. So I wonder if it's myself. Let me just have a quick check on it. Drop frames, and it seems okay. Okay, that's odd. Maybe I'll give it a bit more time. I doubt it'll be anything bad, considering how much of a gentleman he
Oh,
is.
stop doing what, Zach, sweetie?
Aww.
Touching my arm and looking at me like that?
I pause, giving him a baffled look. This is certainly the first time a man has ever complained about me being too friendly.
I'm not doing anything wrong. Come on now, don't be like that. It's just a bit of fun.
My goodness, her voice. A bit of harmless fun.
I'm sorry. It's just really uncomfortable and I don't think either of us want Mr. Right to see us and think there's any funny business.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Look, can we just... We're finished with the interview already, aren't we? Maybe it's about time I go.
Oh boy.
Oh, you must be joking.
No, I'm not.
You're certainly the odd one. Don't be such a killjoy. A little bit of flirting never hurt anyone. Other men would simply be delighted by my interest in them. Besides, you really are such a cutie.
Well, I'm not them, Hannah. So, yeah, I'm probably odd.
I don't understand you.
Let me put it this way. You're a pretty lady, so this must have happened to you at least once or twice. How would you feel if someone was making you uncomfortable? Only for them to refuse when you ask them to stop and they make you out to be the one that's wrong?
This isn't the same as that.
As I try to argue his point, he starts to pack the rest of his bags. Boy, I do not blame him. Oh, wow, we went all the way down. Holy cow. This is preposterous. My main argument is, what sort of man complains about a beautiful woman being friendly with them? It seems logical in my head, but the moment I try to say it, it starts to fall apart.
Yes, it is. Unwanted advances don't make me feel macho or anything like that.
Oof.
I'm not here to argue morals or ethics, Miss Wright. I think I have more than enough for the interview, if that's fine with you.
Wow. He went right back to Miss Wright instead of Hannah. Oh man, see, that's attention to detail that I love. So he went straight back to Miss Wright.
I may be starting to overstay my welcome.
I feel deflated. And things were going so smoothly too. I ended up pushing too hard just when I might have found myself a good friend. I'm not sure if I feel awful because I'm not getting what I want or because I was just compared to the pigs I so despise.
You're not even going to let me apologize.
You're not a bad person, Hannah. Just...
Because I really am sorry.
people won't always be how you want them to be. And apology accepted. But I really do need to go. A friend of mine is expecting me and it's getting late.
Will you visit again? I will be asking for copies of those photographs.
Yeah, sure. I'll make you a copy.
That will be much appreciated. I'll ask Johans to see you out.
I feel sick to my stomach as I watch Zachary leave. It is silly to be upset over falling out with a man who was only a few hours a complete stranger to me. That doesn't excuse my boorish behaviour at all, and it doesn't make the ill feeling any better. Idling about, I stare off into space, unsure of how I feel. And I stay a good while, just standing there until the sun sets in the horizon. Disheartened, I proceed back into the mansion for supper. Oh man. Entering the dining hall causes me so much confusion. It is dark. For a moment, I thought the electric work is not up to par. But that clearly is not the case, as every other room is bright with artificial light. Finding the light switch is a monumental task considering the size and the unfamiliarity with the room. To make matters worse, the darkness grants the room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. It takes longer than I thought to find the switch, something that will have to be rectified later on. My skin starts to prickle, and there is the distinct feeling of being watched. Oh god. Well, I'm looking at the paintings now, I don't really see anything odd. It unsettles me, and only spurs me on my search. And when I do open the lights, there is a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman!
Oh my god, what is he drinking? There at the end of the hall is my beloved husband with his face in one hand and a glass in the other. Perhaps I can let it go if it's only one glass of wine. However, I can feel myself go livid after seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me. Yet what is he having?
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe?
Oh my god, just straight like that? Like that full glass of absinthe? Do you know how strong that is?
You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke.
Damn.
Are you actively trying to kill yourself? Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car.
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please.
Oh boy.
Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me.
Lelouch. Oh my god, I gotta search this up. I've never heard that before. Lelouch. Let's take a look. Lelouch, the drink. I'm just looking at, oh, it's a cocktail. Oh my god, wow, it really does look like it. Oh my goodness, wow. I would not be able to have that at all.
Helps with the hangover, dearest.
He's got a hangover.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad.
Oh, we're angry.
I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much. You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
It's because yeah, I remember, like, some glass crashing or something. They must have broken something. So he must have got stressed.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hannah, darling. What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you?
What?
If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you.
Motherfucker.
That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that. You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done.
Oh.
So, what was it then, What were you doing?
Oh, I was with Zachary? What's it going to be? Should I tell the truth or tell a little lie? Should I say I was with Zach or I was tending the gardens? What should we say, guys? Seems like he already knows, but yeah, if you want, number 1 for I was with Zachary, or number 2, I was tending the gardens. So type that in now. I mean, I feel like Luke already knows. So I'm pretty sure he already knows that we were with Zach and maybe fooling around here and there. But then again, like, I'm pretty sure Luke fools around. Like, he looks a type, doesn't he? I mean, we were out in the gardens as well. Number 1, I was... Okay, let's go.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
I have no reason to tell lies. It's not like I'm guilty of anything. But as Luke's expression turns, he makes me feel like I actually am to blame for something. He has a way of making me laid bare. With just a look. That had really struck me when we first met years ago.
That giant Negro?
Damn.
You were having a secret meeting behind my back and it was with him?
What are you implying?
I'm implying nothing. I'm just worried. You know better than to trust those media types, Buttercup. He must have been really friendly to occupy your time like that, but all he's looking for is his next big headline.
Oh boy.
He's a photographer for an interior design magazine.
Doesn't matter. You let one little thing slip, one wrong move, and it'll blow up in the telly in the morning. He'll go to his journalist friends to gossip and make a quick quid.
Oh boy. Sounds like he's had this happen to him. His eyes were the first thing I noticed about him. Who, Zach's eyes? Or Luke's eyes, you mean? They were like nature, the grass and the trees, wonderful and breathtaking. Now as I look at him, they're nothing but the same shade of green as the bloody damn drink in his hand.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke. I can't say the same for you as of recent.
Excuse me again? We're talking about you, Hannah.
No, I am pretty sure we were talking about you and your drinking problem, Luke, right?
Hangover forgotten during the course of this little spat, the man jumps to his feet and seethes. It looks like he's barely stopping himself from throwing the nearest thing he can find.
Oh, it is not a problem. I can stop whenever I want.
Really?
And even if it was, I think you can very well stay out of it, as it only affects my own kidneys or liver or whatever the bloody hell that shite pollutes. Whatever aftermath that occurs because of your little chit-chat with the Negro affects the both of us, however.
Oh, he's concerned about his rep?
Look, Luke, nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Well, now I think I'm getting jealous. Or I would be if it weren't for this damn headache.
Stop
Maybe
drinking.
you should drink more.
Maybe.
Supper is spent in silence with nothing but the occasional sound of silverware. A grand feast has been served. Well, grander than usual anyway, most likely due to Luke's complaints of stress. Ooh, look at that. A platter of native oysters for starters, and tranche of turbot with, is that how you say it? With purple sprouting, broccoli, lemon, capers, and anchovy sauce for mains. To finish it, oh my god, my mouth is watering right now just seeing this. To finish it all off, black tea and golden syrup sponge pudding with custard. Oh my goodness, that sounds great. But when our appetites are appeased and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. Lonely in the lull of night, I sit in a house too big and too empty, foreign and unwelcoming. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There is no need for tears, however. I know I can get through this, like every other obstacle I've faced before. This is a minor setback in what I hope will be a long and happy life. To remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with a renewed vigor. Besides, it looks like someone is having a cry already. The wailing is far away and muffled. Yet, at the same time, it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. As if the suffering is just standing right beside me. Oh god, I hear it. Hearing it sends a chill down my spine and makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. Who is that? Oh god. We're in the kitchen? Does Luke not hear this? Curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound into the kitchen and into the wine cellar hatch.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
Oh god. I'm curious and concerned, but there is no way I am going down into a dark and humid underground. Yeah, don't do it. I'm not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur, because they heap wine down there in the cellar. However, I also cannot bring myself to go to bed with this racket going on. Oh my god. It is one of the household help. They will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. As professional as our staff are, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Johans or I who'd calm them down, who'd help them figure out how to go on about things. Unfortunately, I am not in high spirits right now, so I'm not as wholly benevolent. So I will... Oh god. I don't know if this is a good idea. Either of these don't look like a good idea, guys. So, type in number 1 if you want me to open the hatch. Or, if you want me to just call out to them, type in number 2. I don't know. If it was me, personally, in this situation, I'd probably just be like, oh, fuck it, and I have no other option, I'd probably just call out to them. I would not want to venture down there. Lord knows what's down there. I'm pretty sure we know what's down there, and it's unholy and godforsaken, but it's up to you guys. Cowboy, you say call out to them? Alright, let's do it. Calling out. I knock 3 times. Waiting for any sort of reply yields me no results, and I've already touched the floor hatch far too many times than what I'd like. I take a deep breath before reaching out again to whoever's inside. I've learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily would not help in coaxing them out.
You, in the cellar, do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still, nothing.
You can have a good cry. Just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
A cuppa, like a cup of tea. Oh, I love that slang. With how long I am standing here, however, I am starting to think myself as a fool. I do not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an eerie turn. The thought of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I had to stop myself from getting too hot-headed as I try one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me? Why, I ought to...
I freeze as a hand clamps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes itself known as I kneel, unmoving, not even daring to breathe. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest, but the touch is gone as quickly as it had seized me. It is only Johann's I see when I look back.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that.
Oh boy, okay. Whew.
You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least I'd like to interpret it as concern, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Or rather, it must have been concern, as he takes a glove and presses the back of his hand at my forehead before his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What crying woman?
Is he German?
Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
He probably can't.
Madam, Hannah, no one is down there.
Wow, I like how he becomes a caring all of a sudden and just uses our name.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicates of the keys. Nobody is down there.
Oh. I stare at him in disbelief. But when I listen once more, I hear no crying. I tug at the hatch for good measure, prove his words to be true too. The thing won't budge unless I had a key, short of using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam.
Oh boy.
You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience.
No, we heard it.
But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
There is a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me up to my feet. What he says makes sense, and who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? Oh wow. Wait, he used to be a doctor, but now he turned butler? I'm just tired, that's it. Long day of moving, the interview, dealing with Luke, that has all drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Good night? Gute Nacht? Is that German for good night?
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
Oh my god, don't talk to the house. It's just fatigue. That's what I keep telling myself, although I can't ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there is something wrong with my head. Sleep will be elusive tonight. Whoa. Okay, well. Luke is already gone by the time I rise. There isn't a single hide nor hair of him to be found, and trying to call him on his mobile is a bust, as it only goes straight to his voicemail. That's twice in a row he's gone on me. And for him to disappear today, of all days, is every bit upsetting because of what's to come. The morning is once again filled with a whirlwind of activity. Fortunately, I am much more refreshed as I took a break from my responsibilities. We. Fortunately, I am more refreshed as we. Because she's preggers, right? Because she's pregnant. That's why she said we. Oh. I haven't the faintest clue where Luke was yesterday. Oh man, this writing is so good. Today is going to be a busy day. Although, unlike Wednesday, the master of the house isn't here right now, absent once again from his duties. Hopefully, he'll be back in time for the party. This is our house, after all. A grand housewarming party for a wonderful Wright mansion. Every person of importance from Luxbourne is invited, and there will be a few guests flying in as well. Of course, there will be some people from the media along with friends and acquaintances who are made no less important regardless of their status in society. Marianne and I discussed business and last-minute touches onto the house before finalising everything. Not that there is much change from our original plans. Bar any huge additions to the property itself, the mansion is nearly 100% complete.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
Right, breakfast.
Well, I can't take all of the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, the baby bedroom? Luke and I had a small tiff about making the second bedroom into a child's playroom, which I insisted is completely practical. In the end, he had to oh god, I don't know this word, I'm so sorry. Acquised? God, this is gonna haunt me, I need to know. Let me see.
Acquiesce.
Acquiesced. Oh my god. Wow, I'm really bad at reading, guys. In the end, he had to acquiesced. I didn't give him any choice in the matter. I even bought this wonderful wooden crib from the antique store yesterday, including some toys. Just in case anyone brings the baby, of course. Besides, we have little need for actual guest rooms. We hardly have guests who spend the night. If we absolutely have to, we often choose to foot the bill for their visit on one of our hotels instead, always at Luke's own insistence. Yeah. Man, they own hotels? Goddamn, they are loaded. And on the off chance that we actually let someone stay, the bedroom in the opposite wing is still up to the task.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
You stand up. No, I did not agree to him having a helipad.
All right, then.
God damn, he wants a helipad?
Well, do we have any other concerns? Anything we need to put on our agenda before the party commences?
No, I don't think so. Not unless Luke has anything else to say.
Is he around then? It'd be best if we can note down his requests right away, considering the scope of his usual ones.
She doesn't agree. Around? No. He's never really around, is he? Where is he? Who knows where? I don't.
No, he's not around.
Wow. She didn't have to point out the obvious now, did she? After 7 long years, I'd already gotten used to him. I should be by now. Still not, apparently.
But don't you have a party?
I want nothing more than to complain, to whinge about how unfair this is. However, airing out one's dirty laundry is simply taboo amongst high society. To do so will make you a ripe target for the next dinner party chit-chat. Vultures, the lot of them really. Or most of them at least. There are always good ones like Rochelle Lee. But put your trust in the wrong person and you'll find yourself eagerly picked apart. Rochelle Lee is that policeman's wife, right?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting, he's having marital problems and he's just trying to cheer him up.
Oh. Perhaps I am being a bit too rash, a bit too hot-headed in divulging details. But I thought myself clever with the plan to dress it up as gossip. Marianne's raised brow makes me unsure whether she is interested or not. Although that does make things better if she has no interest and therefore has no hidden intent to utilize whatever I might say to her.
They've been married for a long time and they've hit how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years.
Oh.
Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark.
She's talking about herself.
What do you think?
You were asking for my personal opinion on the matter, ma'am? Do you want me to be honest, or...
Oh gosh. All right. Well, what do you guys think? On that own subject, I think Hannah's talking about her own relationship with Luke, but guising it as a friend, right? So, if we want Marianne's opinion, should we, number 1, I don't know, or number 2, be honest with me? What should we do? Should we just leave it up to her discretion, or you want the blunt truth no matter how much it hurts? Ooh, I don't know. Well, it's up to you guys. So I just said I don't know. But if you guys want I don't know, press number 1. If you guys want be honest, number 2. Number 2. All right, I see a number 2. Let's go with be honest.
Be honest with me, Marianne. I don't need someone to sugarcoat it. I'm not some fragile thing that I'm just going to break down at the slightest thing.
She hesitates, taking a sip of a coffee while I stare into my own cup of tea. The silence stretches on, and I almost believe that she would never answer my question. I suppose that I shouldn't blame her putting her in a tight spot like this. Ooh, what's our... Ooh, that's a plus. Okay, excellent. Her hesitation is understandable, though I loathe to admit it. She simply wants the whole thing to stay professional. But then she speaks...
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Yup. It's my turn to hesitate now. I really didn't expect such a straightforward question. And to get to the heart of the matter, I suppose I'm not as clever as I'd like to think. Or is it really that bad that an outsider can see our little marital troubles? Surely we aren't that obvious, are we? Well, it's pretty obvious. We've put up the act of a perfect couple for years, although it hasn't always been an act. Marianne is just more keen than the average person, of course. It is a necessity to her career, and she's been working so closely with us. Yes, that's it.
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle.
Professional.
But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Someone who won't even give him the time of the day. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. That's just my 2 pence worth, of course.
Take
So
a break.
you're saying they should divorce?
Nothing as drastic as that. If they're afraid that it might lead to just that, then maybe that is what's meant to happen in the first place.
Wise.
We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Very wise.
But it's just a short hiatus is all. Or, couples therapy? Look, I'm really not the best person to ask about relationships. So grain of salt and all that.
Wow. She trails off having said her piece and leaves nothing but the smell of coffee and Earl Grey between us. There is a calm despite the nature of what has just been discussed. To say that her words make me start to think is an understatement. To say that I'm not considering her advice is a lie. And to say that this might just be the calm before the storm is a possibility. Others have had shorter marriages, yes, but plenty have celebrated long and happy ones as well. My own parents celebrated their choral anniversary before they passed away. What's a choral anniversary? Does anyone know? I'm not sure. But 7 years? 7 years isn't a whole lot in the grand scheme of things. 7 is a lot. It isn't a whole lot of time to see what and where our relationship can bring us. And at the same time, 7 years, well, it hasn't been entirely made up of unhappy years, has it? It won't last forever. It's not supposed to anyway. I just dread the thought that it might last for a very long time. The thought that these small spats, these little disagreements, will turn into an all-out resentment. The idea that we will grow to hate each other with every fibre of our being scares me. I can't even pinpoint the exact moment when our blissful union turns sour. We can get through this, right? I know that I still do love him, and I feel that there is a part of him that loves me in return. We just need to get our heads together and talk it out. Surely he will see some sense. There's a cough before Marianne clears her throat. I must have been quiet for so long, and I move to apologise when she stands up. We both end up on our feet, unsure on how to proceed. Some sort of odd, awkward shuffle occurs as we decide whether to sit back down or not.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy, busy, busy.
Very
You must stay a while. I'd
professional.
love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees at least.
The Lees? The
If it
cop?
wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
We'll see. So, if Foy can be excused?
Certainly.
Certainly.
You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Oh god. Those people. The scene outside the parlour is a great organised mess. Aside from our own household help, we hired the service of the temp agency, which provides staff for Wright Enterprise in the hospitality sector. Even our very skilled staff cannot undertake a party of this size on their own. Waiters, busboys, hostesses, and the staff captains move about in droves carrying crockery and serveware goods for several dozen people, and then some. Chefs and bartenders tail after Johans, looking like scared little children as he escorts them through the kitchen and into the wine cellar. Oh god, don't go there! To peruse the stocks, to select what can be served at the party and what can be used for cooking.
Schnell! We have a lot to do, and I believe we did not hire snails. Snails are for the dishes.
A string quartet readies up to play for the evening, tuning the instruments as they fill the air with idle chatter. Floral decor, where thousands fill vases, wreaths and baskets. White petals are scattered along the driveway up front. God damn. Woo! An ice sculpture of a reindeer is brought in carefully by a pair. It is followed by a simple cake. Just a simple cake? Just a 5-tier white chiffon, one with white chocolate mousse, fresh berries, and a light dusting of edible gold leaf. That's simple? God damn. But despite the fact that I told Marianne how I will attend all of this, I find myself unable to focus or care for any of it. Sorry, I'm salivating because of the cake. I still have our discussion running in my mind, and looking at all of this, I only see Luke everywhere. These are all the grand things that Luke wanted to have for the party. I had wanted a small, elegant, and simple gathering with only a select few invited, namely the people who would actually trust to enter my home. I did not want any bloody politicians or paparazzi here, no matter how used I am to catering them.
At least be here for your party. Damn it, Luke.
Right? The entire thing screamed Luke Wright, and I can't help but add another question to my growing list of queries. When did I lose myself? It's always about him nowadays, isn't it? What about Hannah Wright? What about Hannah Evans? I used to be my own woman. Oh, that's her surname, Evans? Who made her own name, her own career, and her own decisions. Sure, I was already the social butterfly that I am today, but it wasn't all empty, shallow gossip and sitting pretty. I was also lauded for my knowledge and talent. Finance manager wasn't just handed to me just because my father owned the company. I had insisted that I start at the bottom so I could work my way to the top and prove myself. Well, I mean, when you get connections like that, you pretty much guarantee you're on the top anyway. And I did. I worked numbers, managed budgets, money and accounts, analyzing the competition and market trends. There was a calculation of financial risk, cost reduction opportunities, auditor liaison and public relations supervisions of staff, and, well, I generally had a huge slew of responsibilities. Admittedly, I was already quite the attention seeker even back then, having dedicated most of my youth craving for my parents' approval. Failing that, I turned to others, looking for praise from anyone who would give it, however fleeting it was. And Luke, oh Luke, the way he looked at me, the way he watched me, and took a genuine interest. He had me disgustingly obsessed since day one, hasn't he? He saw me for me, Hannah Evans, with both my faults and my achievements. The man didn't treat me like some damsel in distress or some prize to be won. I remember the nights before we were married, where we talked about everything and anything, from big things like business, society, and philosophy, to things such as what we had for breakfast or whether we like cats or dogs more. We both prefer dogs. Nowadays, I'm just Luke Wright's wife. It's mostly my fault, isn't it? They told me that husbands prefer wives who are docile and subordinate. A woman who will always be there for him, yet would never outshine him in all aspects except beauty. A wife needs to be at home and attend to his needs, to have children and to take care of them in his absence. They said I have no business working anymore after I was married. I can blame society, but I listened. before I can fall further into this introspective pit of self-loathing, someone calls for my attention.
The guests have arrived, madam.
And Luke?
Running a bit late, I'm afraid.
Of course.
Late for his own party. That man, I swear. He's probably looking to make a dramatic entrance, knowing him.
Of course.
Open the doors then. We mustn't tarry.
Tari. Cars line up in the driveway, peppering the front of the mansion with vehicles of every kind. Grand Tourers, supercars, even the odd high-end muscle car or two, convertibles, grand saloons, and other luxury cars can be seen being parked by valets. A handful of cabs drive off, possibly for those who thought it's too troublesome to bring their own cars. There are at least 2 different media vans as well. They're all here for what may be considered the biggest event of the year for Luxbourne so far. Who knows what we'll plan for the winter holidays?
Welcome everyone. Please make yourselves at home.
Damn, some of the guests idle, enjoying the warm if not strange sunshine we are experiencing before gloomy skies inevitably return. They greet acquaintances and friends with warm smiles, others less so. From where I stand, I can see the hierarchy of power, the ties that bind these individuals here, whether through convenience or necessity. However, there are also few who are not here to further cement their current place in high society, such as that young man with his oriental air, ignorant of the looks he receives from women and men alike.
Be careful with Shirley, alright?
Man from the Orient. Wow. Is that... I guess because we're so high society, I guess that's what we call it. Oh. Or that rose-haired woman talking on her phone while she looks unsure of why she's here exactly.
Yes, I'm at the party already, Mom. Yes, I'll say hi to her if I can.
Here, I see Zachary, the photographer, as well. He talks to a few of the other media crew with an air of familiarity.
I was just here a few days ago, yeah. And the inside is huge, but the staff are pretty helpful if you get lost.
I had invited Father Norman too. Who? It's the least I can do after he blessed the mansion on my request. Aside from my small donation to this church, of course. But the poor man had taken ill and went through a nervous breakdown of some sort the other day. And then there are people like the Chief Inspector. People who I... Wait, what? The father that blessed this place was taken ill and had a nervous breakdown. Did he get got by the ghost or something? Oh dear. People who I can never be too sure about. Oh great, it's Officer Lee again. People who stand on the border between being suspicious and being trustworthy.
Thank you for the invite, Anna. Husband still missing, I see?
I should be saying the same of your darling Rochelle, Lee. The doctors again?
She told me she'll just be in the gardens. Bet she's lying and that she's somewhere around mingling, gossiping with the other ladies. It's no offense, but that seems to be all you ladies do at these parties.
Oh, why not talk?
And aren't you gossiping right now?
Yeah.
Yes, well, what about Luke? Should we file a missing persons report now, or do you want to wait 24 hours?
He's around.
You know, I can tell if someone's bluffing. Don't tell me, let me guess. He's finally drunken himself to death and not wanting a scandal, you've hidden his body. I was wanting to give this housewarming gift to him personally, too. It's a plate that holds a wine glass so he can stop killing himself with liquid lunches. Looks like it's too late for that.
Nothing like that. Besides, this is a hardly polite conversation.
Oh, relax. I'm just trying to be cheeky to lighten the mood. It's not like I want Luke dead. The man doesn't serve dodgy plonk like the others when I visit, and he pays his respects well enough.
Dodgy
Could
nudge.
use a glass of wine or 3, actually.
Not you too.
Michelle's been in a horrid mood. Threw her stilettos at me the other day and almost took an eye out. Not
Ouch.
sure if this is how it usually goes, but I blame the pregnancy.
Oh.
I wouldn't know, would I?
Still no plans for a baby? Well, I guess that's for the best. If it's this bad now, I can't even imagine how bad it'll be when that little baby bump becomes huge.
9 months. Have I mentioned how I don't trust him, no matter how hard I tried to do so? At least he brought a gift, I suppose.
Why don't you just go inside and have some wine, Lee?
Think I will, thanks.
Greetings such as these carry on as the guests continue to trickle in. Whether we have short conversations or merely shake hands and nod heads, I make sure to attend and welcome each of them. Oh, well, isn't she a good host? As the first hour passes us by, the rest of the stragglers and I adjourn to the ballroom. Any latecomers will have the attention of the porter instead. I have other duties to attend to now. That's true. That's true. Hosting parties is always the same old song and dance, no matter how big or small it is. You make sure your guests are well fed, have good company, and have them generally enjoy themselves. So when my opening remarks are done, when the band has started to play and the guests have started eating, I find myself wandering around aimlessly unless I am pulled aside. For a while, I stay with a small group and entertain them before excusing myself. And when they're not anymore watching me? Do you mean when they're not watching me anymore? I end up watching them. Does that work in a sentence? I don't know. When they don't listen, I do. A local banker is having trouble with his daughter. He wishes to marry her off, but she wants nothing more but to make music. Oh, isn't that nice? One of our hotel managers worry about the stolen belongings of one of his patrons, a failing in security which should be brought up to higher authority soon. Our mayor, well, his cat died. Then there is that rose-haired woman once again. It is hard not to notice her with her distinctive locks. She also lacks the grace that the other ladies have, though that does not make her any less beautiful. Her stance and the air she exudes instead are strong, and they make her stand out despite her casual attire. Many men have already given her the attention, though each invitation to dance has been turned down. I approach intrigued, although it is no great mystery what occupies her own attention, with the glances she keeps sending towards the boy with the oriental hair. Oh, yeah, she's got a crush. She's got a crush on Ash! She remains unaware though, even as I stand beside her, pretending that I am there for a drink.
You would catch his eye a lot better if you wore nicer clothes, don't you think?
Didn't realize the housewarming was going to be this fancy. I would have gone with a nice dress if I knew.
Oh, you're fine, dearie. It's only really the parvenu.
What's a parvenu?
Those who climb, that come to these parties all dolled up.
Gotcha.
Quite the black-haired beauty, isn't he?
The boy comes over, but I do not speak any softer. He merely passes by, and it is a wonder he doesn't hear what I say.
Who, Ash?
You know, you really shouldn't have turned down those offers.
Offers?
If I wasn't married, I'd happily go dancing with those young men.
Ah.
But you said a name. Ash. That's the exquisite lad you've been looking at all this time. I don't know him, and I'm the one hosting this party. That must mean you know each other. Is he your boyfriend then? Because that would explain those rejections.
And if we're hosting this party and we don't know either of them, how did they get in? In all my life, I have never seen a face grow red so fast. The shade of her hair did not help as well. This is the most pink I've seen on a person, really.
What? No, that's ridiculous. He isn't my boyfriend.
And she's a teacher as well. Well, I guess pink hair on a teacher's fine, right?
Such a violent reaction. A simple no would have sufficed. Many here would be happy to hear it.
And I haven't been looking at him.
Oh yeah, you have.
That's right. You've been staring. Quite heatedly, in fact. Although I'm not sure if you look like you want to kiss him or kill him.
It's more the latter currently.
Oh boy.
Just don't go murdering him on my property. I don't want to walk into a room and suddenly find a body there.
Is that foreshadowing? I waver as I feel the burning of someone's stares. It is chilling, and though I am used to enduring the gaze of others, this one makes the hairs on my back of my neck stand up. Oh, snap! Well, that's concerning. My attention is pulled from the girl and I see a woman staring. Dark-haired and dirty, she looks more like a beggar than a guest. And I have half the mind to call the security at her when her mouth breaks out into a grin. Yet not only her mouth, do you not see the blood everywhere? All I hear is her laughing, taunting. Her stare makes my blood run cold. She looks at me like I am nothing but a pig to slaughter for her amusement. It makes my hand shake, and I nearly drop my drink. But then in a blink, she's gone, and the buzz of the party returns.
I'll keep that in mind, but are you all right?
No, we're not.
Yes, sorry. I just thought I saw something strange. It must be the trick of the light.
Must be.
On a right, as you must already know.
Rebecca Gales.
Gales.
Gales? The name is familiar, like a fond memory. I recall a kind lady, a private tutor who treated me like her own daughter when I was young. She'd even bring me food when there was no need to do so. Usually stovies, which I honestly hadn't been too keen about, though I ate them nonetheless because she brought them for me.
Oh, the professor! And your little Becky!
Oh!
My parents couldn't make it since they're in Scotland right now. And Mom says hi, by the way.
Oh my god, look, her name's, instead of Rebecca or Becca, it's Becky, because we're playing as Hannah. I love it.
But yeah, that's me. Little Becky. We met once before.
Oh, when we were children.
Yes, oh, I remember you! You were the cutest little thing with glasses! And when we met, you were having boy troubles with this lad called something with an A.
Oh!
What was it again? Aaron, Alan, Adele, Albert, Alexander, Andrew?
Oh my god! The more I list off names, the more red and the more quiet Becky gets. She starts to look a bit miserable as her body language shows discomfort and stiffness. Perhaps I've triggered a horrid childhood memory. Surely I hadn't been mean when she visited with her mother. I don't quite remember all of it.
Ashton! Ash!
Ah, man! So she's been infatuated with Ash since the beginning?
That man is that boy! The same one.
Damn!
Oh, goodness me, after all these years!
Always. Oh.
I can see why, though. He's quite dashing.
You don't really need to announce it to everyone within earshot, you know? Keep it down.
Ah, she admits it.
I'm so sorry, but it really is cute.
Uh-huh. And a tad bit sad. What? No!
So, this is a nice party, Miss Wright.
Please, Anna's fine. We're friends of a sort, aren't we? We must be friends, seeing as I know about your little infatuation, Becky.
Ah.
Don't you worry, dearie. You'll have your happy ending yet.
I'm not too concerned about that, am I? That's not what I'm looking for.
Oh?
Oh? And what makes you think that? Doesn't everybody want their happy ending?
The idea of happy endings sounds like they're just for fairy tales.
Could happen.
And they are, sorta. I don't think you can just sit around, trapped in some tower and hope for the best. If you love them, you have to fight for it, right?
Oh, she's smart.
You're not just going to sit there and hope that everything will just fix itself on its own. Like everything, you have to work at it.
Wow.
But what do I know?
You know a lot. There's a grimace, although she starts to relax around my presence. How long has it been since we met as children? Certainly a long time. She was tiny back then, if I recall correctly.
I'm sure the daughter of the two greatest professors I've ever known is smart enough to know what she's talking about. But have you told him how you feel? And it's been what? 20 years?
What, really?
17, actually.
That's still a lot.
But no, not yet. He can be a bit dense.
Then tell him.
I was hoping that maybe he'd notice on his own and...
You've been hoping for 17 years. Oh my god.
Well, that won't do.
No, it won't.
What if you two become husband and wife? He's not to be dense when he's sworn himself to another person. Why, you might just as well consider leaving before the day's even begun.
If that happens, I'll have to give him a good ear bashing, won't I? Whoever anyone ends up with, it's not going to be a perfect relationship anyway.
Oh, would this apply to us?
There's going to be things you'll love and things you'll hate about the other person. We're just humans.
Oh.
It's funny. Here I am, trying to give you advice when you did the very same thing back then. I remember you giving me a makeover when we were still kids. And you were the first I told anyone about my... crush.
Wow, really? I do remember now that she mentions it. Did I give her that yellow summer dress? Or the pink blouse and petticoat? She must have kept some of what I said in mind. It feels ridiculous remembering all of that years later, talking about boys and how they go crazy for pretty girls, as if it's some gospel every woman should adhere to. It was so easy to say such things then, with me not knowing any better. Though, looking at her now, she must have kept some of what I said in mind. Perhaps I did say something good at that time, enough for her to take it to heart. But all that didn't matter in the moments as I mull over what she's just said in my head. What Becky told me is very different from what Marianne told me. Ooh, I don't know, which should we go for? Which advice? There is no time to ponder over that, however, as a hush descends upon the once lively crowd. The music of strings and the chatter slows to a grinding halt as the doors from the foyer opens. The last of the latecomers should have arrived moments ago, and anyone else this late would simply be too embarrassed to show their face. And this can only be one person, or rather, one man. There is only one man who is audacious enough to arrive at his own party so late.
Good evening, ladies and gents. Enjoying the party? I hope I'm not too late in welcoming you all to the right mansion.
Oh dear. Unlike I, who was raised in the spotlight and simply grew used to his presence, he sought it out every chance he could, even when there was no spotlight that shone. And I'll never put it against him when he smiles like that. He did so quite brilliantly under the scrutiny when he channels his showmanship. You can tell by the way people's eyes light up as he speaks, how they listen enraptured even if all he's doing is a simple greeting. A little wave of his hand here and a little smile there and a bit of swagger. I always tell him that if he is not to be a businessman, he will do well as an entertainer. I love the sight of him, especially when he looks at me and he beckons me over to humbly share his place. Not a single second is wasted as I excuse myself from Becky's side and I make my way to Luke's.
Welcome one and all to our humble abode. Tonight, if you have yet to find yourself in your roles, you are our ladies and lords of the court of your king and queen.
Wow.
If you would excuse my presumptuousness. So, enjoy the feast that has been laid out for your senses as we only allowed the best to be served. Enjoy the rest of your night, everyone.
There is a round of applause, cheers, and even some hoots. Guests approach us left and right to shake Luke's hand and greet him personally, praises on their lips. It is because of this that I do not see her. I do not see her until she is dangerously close, with fury in her eyes, and she's already spitting venom. Oh my god, what? Johans restrains her, taking care not to unnecessarily harm the pregnant woman. But that does little to deter her rage, and the man has no choice but to let her go, lest an unborn child is hurt. Although it might be too late for that, as I see an empty glass of wine in her hand. Okay, it's not the ghost. How much has she imbibed? Wait, she's pregnant and she's drinking?
Are you feeling ill, Rochelle?
Oh, this is Rochelle, Lee's wife?
Perhaps you need to sit down and...
No! Shut it, you munter! I ain't talking to you! I'm talking to this scumbag over here!
Oh my god. Wait, so she's drinking and she's preggers? And... okay.
You bloody bastard, standing there with your smarmy smile!
Aren't we friends with her? She interrupts me, jabbing her finger in my direction before she rounds on Luke. Even as whispers and murmurs break out among the guests, all I can focus on is the heat of the moment. Obviously intoxicated, judging by the smell of alcohol on her breath. I'm not ticked off about this little display of hers, at least not yet. But I'm absolutely pissed by the fact that she'd endanger her own baby by drinking, right? There is a considerable amount of restraint and grace that I must exercise while I wait for her tantrum to subside. I keep a patient, if tight, smile on my face. Luke's expression, on the other hand, is indecipherable.
Watch your tongue! You're on thin ice, Rochelle. Where's your husband? Who even invited you?
I did.
And I told you with great emphasis not to. Now we have a drunk, hormonal, pregnant woman causing a stir.
Uh-oh.
What is even going on?
I am just about to ask that exact same thing.
I don't know. But Rochelle, do calm down before you hurt yourself. I can't understand a word you're saying.
Where is that husband of yours? Lee! Collect your wife right now!
Don't you fucking talk like I'm not here and you're not responsible, you ass!
What?
You told me that I should wait for you in the gardens!
Oh, is that why she was...
Excuse me. What is this nonsense you're going on about?
Luke?
Crazy talk! That's all it is! Just completely and utterly mad! Has anyone seen the Chief Inspector?
I am pregnant with your little bastard! You promised me you'll take responsibility.
No!
God damn it, Luke! I finally got you to talk to me after months of silence, and you do this to me.
God, what? What?
What do you mean you're pregnant with? Luke, is this true?
Oh my god.
Lies and slander, woman! Security! Johans, take her out of here before she makes an even bigger fool of herself!
No, you do not do this to me. I was so ready to leave my stupid oaf of a husband. I told you to leave that damn wife of yours. Look at her. Does she look like she wants a baby?
We do!
Does she look like she could take care of a baby?
Oh my god. It is now that Johans returns with security, along with a concerned-looking Officer Lee. They surround her and move to escort the hysterical woman. Judging by his pale face, he has heard the whole thing, and I feel nothing but pity for the man.
I'm so sorry for her behaviour. She's been under a lot of stress. And the alcohol. Talking nonsense, that's all it is.
Is it?
You're not allowed to drink because of the baby, Shelley. What are you thinking?
Whose baby?
Nothing to see here, people. Move along.
Is there really nothing here but the ramblings of a drunk? Yes, that's right. There's no way that what Rochelle says is the truth. What she says doesn't match up. It matches up with what Lee said. Lee said that Rochelle was in the gardens, right? I know, Luke. If such a scandalous meeting are to be arranged, he won't do it in such an exposed place, especially not near his precious flowers. And he definitely won't promise responsibility over a child unless it can be helped. Besides, Luke will never... He will never go so far as to sleep with another woman, right? I don't know. Okay, fine, who am I kidding? If I am to be completely honest with myself, he might cheat. With a bit of temptation and a bit of alcohol, he just might. And doesn't that just make my blood boil to even think of the slightest possibility of infidelity? Lee isn't too far off when he told me how Luke still acted like some young hotshot bachelor. It starts to make me think perhaps a break is needed, or I need to work for my happy ending. Oh boy. So, remember the two advice that we were given? We were either given number one, which was perhaps a break is needed, which is what Marianne told us, or number two, I need to work for my happy ending, which is what Rose told us. One seems sensible and one seems like, not fairy tale, but like something that's good advice. Like, they're both good advice, but what advice should I take? Should we have a break with Luke because he seems like an asshole? Or do we, like, maybe, like, defend him? I don't even know if that baby is his, honestly. While you guys decide, I'm just gonna go ahead and take a quick bathroom break. So let me know if you want number one, which is perhaps a break is needed, or number two, I need to work for my happy ending. I'll be right back, guys. Give me 1 minute. Alrighty. Cowboy says you decide. Alright, if no one's gonna say anything, then... Oh gosh, I don't know. I don't really trust Luke. I'm gonna take Mary Ann's side, and I'll say perhaps a break is needed. Maybe Mary Ann had a point. If I'm frustrated, if I'm unhappy, maybe a break is needed. Some time apart might be just what the doctor ordered. Time apart to clear our heads and to think for ourselves. Or for myself, to be exact. Because looking at this mess before me brings me nothing but distress. I feel a bit nauseous, actually, now that I think about it. Luke's too busy making a scene to notice, and a concerned Becky pulls me to the side. She looks as disturbed as I am by this sudden turn of events. Aw, thanks, Rebecca. Probably not a big fan of drama. Definitely not used to it at any rate. Not surprising, as the parents were lovely yet simple people.
Hey, I figured you could use the save. You looked like you weren't doing too hot back there.
Thanks, Becky.
Do we need to call a doctor or something?
Oh no, I'll just be needing some fresh air, that's all. Some help getting out of here would be much appreciated.
Oh boy.
Sure, that won't be a problem. I wanted to get away from this drama too anyway. Just... Hey, Zachary! Hey, Zach!
At the mention of his name, I can't help but seek him out in the crowd as he makes his way over. They know each other?
Becca, this is a real oh, hey, Miss Wright.
Oh no, she's not calling us Hannah. If I'm to assign a random number to dictate the odds of having two of my acquaintances know each other, I'll say the odds are 1 out of 1,000. And if this is any other situation, I would have been suspicious. It isn't completely impossible to have two random strangers who I've met on separate occasions to know each other in what will be a complete random happenstance. I mean, is Luxbourne like a big place, a small place? What is it? It's just that it's been faked before to try to dupe me because of who I am and who I'm married to. But right now, coincidence or not, I'm just grateful for their help. As long as this doesn't turn out into a kidnapping. Anyway, I doubt it's a kidnapping. No, I think you'll be fine.
Hello, Zachary. I told you to call me Hannah. Did I not?
That's true.
Yeah, you did. So this is what you called me for. We gonna get Hannah out of here?
I can see that they're friends. Not terribly close ones, but friends nonetheless.
That'd be great.
They make quick work of getting us through the crowd. The people part because of Zachary's broad build, even if they want to approach me. If that isn't enough, Becky's pointed glares keep them at bay. Oh man, aren't they nice? We even make it out of the ballroom without any untoward incident. Though judging by the commotion in the other room, the same cannot be said about the unexpected eviction. I really do need the fresh air. I need to be away from those nosy Parkers. I need to be away from Luke. This is a good start as any.
Hey, I gotta go back in there. Completely forgot my bag like an airhead, and I'll see if I can tag Ash on the way out. You'll be fine here, right, Hannah?
Not to worry, dearie. I'll just be right here.
This is our house, by the way.
Zach will be with you if you need anything.
Becky balks at the idea of going back into the ballroom. Anyone who hasn't yet would have realized I'm gone by now. And those busybodies will be gossiping about how I left the building with two unknowns. Along with what just transpired, stories both inaccurate and made up were spread by the night's end. It all matters very little in the grand scheme of things, of course. I wouldn't even bother to try to quell them by returning to the fray. That leaves me with...
Zachary?
Yeah, you need something?
Oh man, yeah, oh man, because our relationship's not too good with Zachary. Hey.
I was only going to say how nice it is to see you again.
Oh, okay.
I can see the tension in the line of his shoulders. Odd how awkward he is when this isn't our first meeting. We had met on professional terms, certainly, but I'd like to think I was friendly. Nonetheless, I do not push the issue about the apparent discomfort when we were left alone. Not right away, at any rate. I know my curiosity will get the better of me soon. Before I can say anything, however, he speaks up.
You okay there, Hannah? I mean, of course you're not okay after what happened in there. I mean, that was terrible. But you're not gonna just fall down and faint or anything, right?
I'm fine. Thank you for your concern.
Yeah, Zach's so cool. A beat.
I should be asking you the same thing. I remember you being a lot more eloquent.
And French.
Oh yeah, I'm just not too good with staying too long in a crowded room. Or handling intense drama, you know? Sorry about my clothes. didn't think there'd be a dress code. Not that I have anything that nice to wear to a shindig like this.
Yeah, true. I mean, maybe we need a blazer or something.
I dig nice, small, simple parties, so this is a real doozy for me.
And do you host your own nice, small, and simple parties often?
Only when there's occasion, birthdays and stuff. Those are a lot more fun for me, and I can be a lot more selective about letting only the people I'm cool with attend, right?
True.
I get to pick the food too. Of course, I make most of them myself.
Oh, that's nice.
There's usually a dozen people or less, and all we really do is just hang out. Maybe do some grilling, karaoke, dancing,
Ooh.
you know, the usual.
Sounds great.
That sounds nice.
Yeah. You sure you're alright? You aren't exactly being eloquent yourself, as you put it. You must have something you want to get off your chest.
I don't know, Zachary. What am I supposed to say?
You can scream merde if you want. I won't snitch.
What's merde?
You want to know what I think? How I feel? I think my friend may have slept with my husband. At least, I'm pretty sure she isn't pregnant with his baby, which isn't much now, is it? My husband is a selfish, pretentious, bloody sack of shite, and you know what? I don't give a flying fuck anymore!
Yeah, Hannah!
My God!
Yes!
Well, that ain't good. Not giving a crap won't make the problem go away.
I'm going to ask him for a break, Zachary. I'm not going to pretend that there isn't a problem, but I just need to step back.
Fair enough. As long as you don't just up and disappear on him, I suppose.
Yes. Now can we please stop talking about him? Tell me more about your small, simple parties.
Oh, it is?
Karaoke and dancing. How does that even go together?
Good to know, cowboy.
Simple, really. We hope Ash doesn't take the mic, put on a bit of fun music, and just dance. Not that I can. But there ain't nothing complex about it.
Oh, that's nice.
You can't be that bad.
I'm pretty good with the twist. Or that's what they tell me, at least. I think they're just being nice. I'm sure it just looks awkward.
Oh my god, how should I respond? Prove it if you can dance, or at least you can cook. What should we say, guys? Should we, oh gosh, I don't know. What should we do? We can, say, prove it in like a friendly manner. See if you can do the twist. Maybe we can dance a bit. Or at least you can cook. Ali says, the first one, prove it. Alright, alright. What about anybody else? So I'm going to give 10 seconds so anybody on either Twitch or on YouTube can make a decision for me. So either number 1 or number 2. 10 seconds, guys. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Alright, we're going to make him dance. Prove it. Prove that you're good at the twist.
I've learned that men tend to exaggerate. You can't honestly be that bad, can you?
What? Do you need a demonstration?
Oh yeah, we do.
That would be preferable, yes.
Hell yeah, we do.
It's not like there's music here, Hannah. Come on. I can barely dance with music, and I don't want to be dancing alone. I'll just look silly.
Imagine, mon ami. You are an artiste, are you not?
Mm-hmm.
With your photos and films and your guitar.
He plays
you
guitar?
You must know notes to play an instrument. Find a melody and a beat. Would it be such a stretch of the imagination? And don't fret, I will gladly be your partner.
Oh my god, we're gonna dance with him? I can tell by his expression that he's flushed, embarrassed, but no more protests escape him, and he focuses with a slight tilt of his head. Then he starts to hum a little tune. I drag him into the gardens while we go through the motions and he gains courage the farther we are from other people. Ah, isn't that nice? And we just dance. Though he stumbles at first, unsure and bashful.
Where did you even learn to dance, Zach? The 60s want their moves back, honestly.
College of two left feet, obviously. And I'll have you know the twist is still an awesome dance.
We're happy and we're having fun. Even if Zachary fumbles with his steps and did the funniest, oddest movements that anyone can pass off as dancing, there is no need to impress anyone, however, not even each other. And this is the most I've smiled and laughed in a long time. It is simple. Simple is nice. Oh man, that's a really nice CG scene. I like that. Oh, that was really good to have them dance a bit. I wish the same can be said about what I'm about to do. Simple isn't the adjective I will use to describe the task at hand. Oh, because we're going to ask Luke for a break. Are we going to end up with Zach? Because really, how does one tell their husband that they want to separate and say that, no, this is not a divorce? Not yet, at least. Oh, chat does know the way, cowboy. You're right. You guys are good at this. The possibility is there, but still, how am I even to explain that to Luke without him throwing a fit? Cutting too deeply into my sausages, I open my mouth to excuse myself. That is, until I spy Luke mashing and stirring his poached eggs with a fork like a petulant child. He has been silent, all the while chin in his hand and elbow resting on the table. I worry that my absence after the debacle may have caused more harm than good.
Luke,
Ooh. I got an achievement called It's Not Why Okay, It's You. Wow.
I think we need a bit of a break.
Oof!
You know, some time apart.
At my words, he grows still and silent. I'm not quite sure whether I should be worried or not. I take it as my cue to keep talking.
It's not permanent or anything like that. Just for a while. In a few days, perhaps. I was thinking I can move back into our penthouse in the meantime, but I won't be moving out right away, so that I can help settle everything here. And I haven't even thought of packing yet. And I'll want to ask Johans to assign some of our staff. Unless you want the penthouse anyway. Then I'll stay here instead.
No, you take the penthouse. It'll be easier for you.
Oh, he agrees? It isn't supposed to be this easy, is it? Can he really react so aloof to it?
Isn't this to your liking? I imagine that you'd like the space and independence. You'll have the bed and covers to yourself, and you can have whatever you want prepared for meals.
Oh, he doesn't care.
You can even have all the wine you want, though I'd rather that you don't.
Yeah.
This isn't about that, Hana. Well, it's partly that, but...
The man stops playing with his food, choosing instead to push the plate aside.
What's wrong, Luke?
He slumps back in his chair and just stops short of putting his feet up on the table. I suspect he's wanting some wine or absinthe by now, but any sort of alcohol is suspiciously absent in his hands.
Aside from that disaster yesterday and you telling me you want a divorce, everything is peachy keen.
Oh, here
Will
it
you want
comes.
me to start on the letters then? To start the divorce settlements and whatnot? Will you be seeking ways to throw me out onto the street without a penny to my name?
No, Luke, this isn't a divorce. I just told you this is only temporary. Are you really having a sulk because of what she said yesterday?
I am having a sulk because you believe her. You stormed out and now you're asking for us to split up?
He is pretty
Soon
cold.
enough, you'll want to throw me out like I'm a piece of trash.
Damn.
Do you think I would be this calm if I believed her, Lucille Mitchell right?
Lucille,
because
that's his name?
believe me, if I did, well, it wouldn't be pretty. Besides, I know how you feel about children. It makes her whole statement laughable.
Sure, whatever you say.
His mouth draws into a thin line, and I can't bring myself to comment on his half-hearted reply. To me, the silence that follows feels oppressive. It only emphasizes the wall that has been built up by my obeisance, and his hubris. Obeisance. I don't know how to say that. I'm sorry. And it looms between us, keeping us apart.
When are you leaving? In a week?
It won't take that long to pack. After All Saints, perhaps?
As if temporary leads to a closer relationship. That's true, cowboy. That is true.
I'll go and inform the staff of this.
Oh, man. This... poor Hannah and Luke. Like, the relationship is in tatters. He only nods. Oh, boy. Well, he's taking this rather well. And I'll be lying if I said that didn't disappoint me. I expected more resistance. The man could be stubborn as a mule if he wants to be. Perhaps I can leave now just to spite him. But that isn't like me. Even if this does end in a divorce, a thing we both surely wish to avoid, we can still leave on amicable terms. There's no point in making a mountain out of a molehill.
What are you still doing here? Just leave. You still have some packing to do, don't you?
Off.
Go ahead. I won't stop you.
Damn. Go ahead and do nothing. There isn't much to do, it seems, whenever I step on up to the plate and try to take responsibility for something, perhaps because everything is already being handled by someone hired specifically for that job. And with Johans overseeing the staff and Luke handling everything else as a whole, that doesn't leave much for me. I can't even take the job of delegation because all it takes is a word to one of the senior staff and everything will be taken care of for me. Moving in here a few days ago may have very well been the chore that I took the most effort from me. And that didn't take any real effort at all.
Yes, Hannah, go buy a mansion in the middle of nowhere. Good idea. Great plan.
There are no dishes to set aside and busy myself with. Any mess left behind is now nearly non-existent. To sit on a counter while eating cake is supposed to be my next plan. That's a pretty good plan. Alas, there isn't even one to finish off, and I don't really know what brought me to the kitchens in the first place. It's not like I'm craving anything else, nor do I have unfinished business left here. But there's a calling to this room. Speaking of calling, why not do just that? A craving? Did she say craving or calling? Sorry. Calling. Speaking of calling. What? Might as well, since I have nothing else to do. At least that will require some effort on my part. With how cut off from the rest of Luxbourne the mansion is, and with how long it was abandoned before we moved in, having a landline is out of the question. The solution, supposed to be, are mobiles, though it isn't much considering how spotty the signal is in this area. Yeah, there's no Wi-Fi in this area, is there? You're afraid, I'm afraid, Ali! It'll take a bit of maneuvering to get even a single bar as it is. It takes a bit, as I said it would. I have to park my rear on one of the cold drawers, but that suits me just fine. Another matter that needs my effort is who to call. She, who must not be named, is certainly off the list. Who, Rochelle? That doesn't leave much in the category of close friends who attend the party, along with the category of who else is awake at this early hour. But soon enough, I manage and the call goes through.
Hello, Rebecca Gales here.
Oh god, we called Rebecca.
Who's this?
Good morning, Becky.
Hannah? Oh wait, how did you get my number?
Yeah.
You responded to your RSVP through the phone. It's all saved in here, of course. I thought I'd like to say hi and make plans and get together sometime.
Aww.
Also, I'd love to hear news about your mother and father and about you, my dear.
It's been too long.
Oh, I hope I didn't wake you up.
Oh, you're good. It's sports day at school today, so I was just prepping for that.
Because she's a teacher.
Figures that you'd be a teacher as well. I'm sure your students must absolutely adore you.
Don't know about that.
They never do.
Mathematics?
History, actually.
Ah.
Anyway, it's real nice to know you've got my number. I was going to ask for yours because Mom wanted to keep in touch.
You could have asked, silly girl. I would have gladly given it to you.
Couldn't, though, because, well, the thing that happened.
Ah.
But really am sorry, though. I gotta run. School, schedule, stuff. Is there anything else you want to say? Don't want to use the mobile while driving?
Oh, of course, of course. I shouldn't keep you. But I wanted to thank you for your company yesterday.
Which girl? You mean Hannah or Rebecca?
Not a problem.
I was hoping you could thank Zachary on my behalf as well. He was really kind and wonderful.
And a good dancer.
Well, you can tell him that yourself if you want. I can give you his number.
Ooh.
Oh, no, I don't want to be a bother. Intruding on his privacy.
Pretty sure he'd be fine with it. If you two are on a first-name basis and all. So his number, right, it's...
Oh! Oh, you don't like how Rebecca looks? I like Rebecca. The call starts to go static, much to my frustration. A strange clicking noise drowns out most of her words too. I can barely understand what she's saying. And the line completely dies. I can feel a headache coming along. It's just building up, starting from a light throbbing on one side of my head. The static is gone, and that helps a lot. But there is still that incessant, horrible clicking. Again, and again, and again. Which doesn't make sense. The mobile's turned off, isn't it? And if it isn't coming from the phone, then where? Looking about. Oh no, don't do it, bitch. I can't help but let my eyes be drawn to the hatch leading into the wine cellar once more. Don't do it! That's when the clicking stops, and I can hear that crying, that familiar crying from before. What happened the other day when I was told that nobody should have been down there. I tried to forget it because of how it unsettled me so. One can hardly do that when I'm looking at the very thing I'm trying to forget. Somebody's crying down there again. But if I leave it alone, it simply won't stop bothering me for the rest of the day. They might have forgotten to lock it with the party going on.
This again? again.
Don't do it.
If somebody is pulling my leg, I will not be happy.
I hope not, mate. Oh god, don't... Ah, damn it, Hannah. True enough, all it takes is a bit of a pull to open the hatch. As I look down to the cellar, a sense of uneasiness washes over me. It isn't just the sudden onset of vertigo and nausea, but also the darkness. It's suffocating. And as I look down, it feels as if it's looking back at me. I worry that something will suddenly pull me into the deep. The cries drown beneath the shrieks that start echoing in my head high and shrill, like nails being dragged across a chalkboard. They're all screaming, shouting at me, and I can just feel her rage. Help me. She wants to drown me, drag me down, and crush me in the very depths of darkness until there is nothing left of me. The deep abyss awaits for me. For my death. They're all calling for it. This is a nightmare. There's a rope around my neck, and I can feel the rest of me being torn apart. Where'd the rope come from? I just bit my tongue. Ow. And they're still screaming. I'm screaming. Though it's not my voice that escapes my lips. It claws through, climbing up and forcing its way up my throat like putrid bile. I choke and gag, yet I scream and shriek all at the same time. And I'm me, but not me. Oh god. R. What? T. Z. Did I do it? Oh, that was easy. Oh, that was so easy. What? It pushes me down to my knees before I'm prone and vulnerable on my stomach. Oh my god, if I didn't do that, would I have died? Maybe I would have died if I didn't do the QTE. Oh shit, this is just like what happened to Isabel. It makes me tumble, and I can just feel my whole body seizing, writhing on the floor. Everything and nothing hurts. It feels like I'm on the verge of death. And if I'm not dying, I nearly wish I actually am.
Hannah? Hannah, what is going on in there?
Luke? Luke!
Why are you?
Prince.
What? Seeing Luke, something snaps back and I am able to take a gasp of air on my own volition for the first time in what felt like centuries. I would have rejoiced and cried for his name if the pain still did not rack my body. Instead, all I can do is stare listlessly as he comes to my side and lifts me up, cradling me in his arms. He tries to get me to my feet, perhaps to take me out of there. But all he's able to do is get me to sit, make sure I'm not thrashing on the floor. I can still feel my muscle spasms, limbs jerking like a puppet's on a string. Luke holds me tight and keeps me still so that I do not hurt myself anymore. Oh, Luke. Whatever it is that happened, it has my mind feeling frayed and battered. Eventually, the pain dies down into a dull ache, and my own tongue stops feeling like cotton. It's only now that I can feel the wetness on my cheeks, tears streaking down my face. A coughing racks my body now that I don't feel like choking. And it just all feels so horrible. But I don't care. I don't care.
Luke, please.
What happened here? Who did this to you?
I don't know. I am so sorry.
Oh, God.
Shh, it's all right. You're safe now, Hannah. You're safe now.
Oh, boy. Oh, Zachary. Oh, my goodness. Well, I better save this. Why I just bind from Twitch? What do you mean? I'm gonna quickly save this. I'll save it here. Yes, save. Oh my goodness. Well, guys, that was Hannah's playthrough. Holy cow. I actually like that a lot. That was a makeup stream from yesterday. Well, 2 days ago now, because, well, like I said, guys, our internet went out. So I hope you guys loved watching Hannah's playthrough here. When we continue, hopefully, I can go ahead and do this again tonight. But Oh, hello, Ruth. How are you doing? How are you doing? But let me know, guys, because I think this is going to be another 3 hours. So if you guys want me to continue, I'm more than happy to do that right now, just to make up for it, because obviously I was supposed to do it again today. But if you guys want me to do it again tomorrow, where I'll be more fresh and more awake and alert, I can do it again tomorrow, same time, 12:30, where we will be doing, well, Zach this time. And yeah, I hope you guys will tune in for that. Oh yes, Ruth, what happened yesterday? Yes, well, my internet cut out. My internet provider said, fuck you, and basically just cut the internet off for the entire region. So it wasn't just me, but yeah, it was down for a 3 hours and a half. So today is me making up Hannah's story, which I think Hannah's alive right now. I think Hannah's a-okay. I think we got Hannah out of there alive, which I think is good. But tonight, guys, if you want me to, I'll be doing it again, 12:30 a.m. So basically midnight, if you guys want me to do Zachary's story, which I hope you guys will tune in again, because I am loving this story so much right now. But again, thank you everybody, either on Twitch and on YouTube, for tuning in, guys. And I'll see you again tonight, 12:30 a.m. Eastern Australian time, for a little bit more Valletta. Until then, guys, if you guys have missed out already, don't worry, it's all recorded on YouTube, so you guys can all watch it on YouTube. Until then, guys, thank you so much. And Cowboy, yes, we gotta save Zach as well. Ruth, yes, I'll see you again. And yes, Kylo or Ali, I will see you as well, mate. Goodbye, everyone.